Milo Wilson. I have adapted one of my portfolio pieces into a little play. The title of the piece is Solitary Statue, and the actors are...
My name is Simone and I'll be playing the narrator.
I'm Janay and I'll be playing the statue.
I'm Sati and I'll be playing Stan.
I'm David Niedermeyer, and I'll be playing the shopkeeper.
We hope you enjoy.
We're having a problem with the sound. We can't hear Simone.
Try again, Simone. I don't think you had it.
Milo, can you shout, please?
Okay.
Simone, can you do a check, please? Count. 1, 2, 3.
Louder, please.
1, 2, 3.
Good. Okay.
Apologies if I was not loud enough.
Improv. Yeah.
My name is Milo Wilson, and I have adapted one of my portfolio pieces titled Solitary Statue into a little play, and the actors are...
My name is Simone Seals, and I'll be playing the narrator.
I'm Janay I'll be playing the statue.
I'm Sati and I'll be playing Stan.
I'm David Niedermeyer, and I'll be playing the shopkeeper.
We hope you enjoy.
Stan was a 25-year-old guy who preferred to keep to himself. He would rather sit alone at his house with a book instead of going to a party with his friends. Stan was also a creature of habit. If he changed too many things on his schedule, he would get anxiety and be nervous until that thing became a regular part of his day. Unless it was Friday. Friday was Free Day Friday. Stan was a simple man who waited for things to happen to him, and there was nothing absurdly amazing about Stan. If there was one thing Stan wanted, it was just not to be so alone. One day, Stan was holding down a table at the mall food court, for he had agreed to hang out with his friends, for it was Friday, and thus a free day, a time to go places. Stan did not want to be urged to talk to too many girls by his friends. Stan noticed there was a new collector's store in the mall that piqued his interest. Thus, after Stan was done hanging out with his friends, he decided that the latest novel he was reading could wait. While Stan checked out the new store, he entered the store, and the person standing at the desk was a large, excited man who had a huge smile on his face.
New shop?
Absolutely. What are you looking for?
Said the man behind the desk with a proud smile.
I'm just looking.
Stan wandered around the store, looking at the collectibles. If he was honest, he could not tell what was valuable and what was just junk. Stan wondered for 5 more minutes and settled on a statue. It was an epic sculpture of an armed horseman. Stan was drawn to it, so he brought it to the man behind the desk and asked how much for the piece. The man named his price and Stan paid. Later that afternoon, Stan returned to his domain and placed the statue atop a bookcase and continued the novel in his favorite chair. Within the empty apartment, as he sat, Stan heard a voice.
Hey.
Stan looked up, not expecting the voice. Stan called out.
Hello? Is someone there?
The voice answered.
I wouldn't call myself something, but yes, something is here with you.
Stan looked around in shock and responded.
Who's there?
The voice answered.
Me.
Who?
Stan said again, looking around, concerned he was going crazy or being robbed.
I'm the statue. Now it's your turn. Where am I?
My apartment?
With horror in his eyes, he looked at the statue from behind his living room couch.
Describe it to me.
You're in my living room, on the top of my bookshelf. It's nice and open, and the walls are white.
Neat.
The statue responded. Stan was panicking. The statue was talking. Statues don't talk. Stan said to himself. Stan walked out of the living room to get away from the talking statue. He decided to go to sleep, given it was getting late, and Stan was obviously feeling the effects. The next morning, Stan went to the cafe for breakfast, given it was Treat Yourself Saturday. Stan looked into the living room. There was a statue, sitting where he had put it the day before, and to his relief, it did not say good morning to him. He went to their cafe and had a normal breakfast, and returned to the abode, where he felt at peace. When Stan sat down on his living room reading chair and sighed in relief, he heard,
Good morning.
Stan was startled again and began to pace.
What? How?
Why what? And I don't really know how.
Stan sat down and did breathing practices. To his annoyance, the statue decided to help by saying,
In, cold, and out.
After he came down, Stan finally asked,
Why can't you talk?
I don't know, but I can, so I do.
the statue answered. He then asked,
Then what is your name?
I don't have one. How about you?
It's Stan.
after a long sigh, Stan asked,
Well, statue, do you mind being quiet while I read?
Sure.
said the statue, and suddenly the room was silent. Stan sat down and read possibly the only thing that made sense to him by now. Eventually, Stan was done reading and got up to make himself a lunch. As he went through his tasks, he asked the statue questions like, how far back can you remember? Do you have a mouth? And why can you talk but can't see? So far and so forth. Stan began to accept the fact that the statue could talk, and after a few days, began to enjoy the company. The apartment felt less lonely. This nice company was present for about half a year. They discussed different subjects, talked about books that Stan would read to the statue, and listened to different podcasts from time to time. Eventually, the statue asked a question that it was burning to ask for a while.
Stan, why don't you hang out with the friends you always talk about?
The statue asked out of innocent curiosity.
Because they probably think I'm weird.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it.
But I don't think you're weird.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just saying, if you hung out with them instead of being cooped up in here, maybe you would know what they think of you.
The statue continued, not knowing that Stan was tuning him out. With each passing moment, Stan became more filled with rage. He felt accused by something, someone he trusted.
If I was totally honest, I think you're putting yourself in a situation where you feel alone and you're hiding behind the excuse of your friends and you don't want to admit crack.
Suddenly, the statue was on the floor, broken. Stan, in a moment of pure rage that his closest friend would dare accuse him of intentionally feeling alone and blaming other people in his life for that loneliness, it was dumb. He just broke his best friend. All it took was a simple push, then the statue was on the floor in countless pieces, silent. And the apartment was empty again. Thank you.